able to see the initiations from Krepo this time, but I'm thinking that he's probably going to then want to take away the Thresh from Bubbadub, because that's also, you know, a highly prioritized pick there for Krepo.
Kassadin actually the last ban here, interestingly enough. So we'll see what they want to go for, and instantly they pick up the Sivir.
So there's no Sivir ban this time, and they instantly want to pick that up for Robert. He loves that champion because she's so great at shoving the waves, and then the mobility that she can provide for her team and chasing people down is just huge at this point.
So these are going to be two really important picks for EG, Kobe. They've kind of navigated the draft in a way where a lot's open, as you mentioned. If you leave all of the good champions open, you get your pick when you get to pick two champions, as it brings back over to you. I would like to see some aggression still from Krepo. I think we're probably going to get that, but what do you think they're thinking about here? Given
well, just from this, if they okay, so he actually locked it in. Krepo still wants to make plays, and he has a really high chance of doing that with Annie. Annie not quite as long range as Leona, but he can make that up with the Flash. Flash Tibber is still an amazing initiate. Krepo wants to fill the same role for his team. So, like I said before, you know, if he had to switch on to some other support, they would try and change it with getting someone with hard CC in one of the different lanes. He's actually going to take that Annie, and they'll bring the exact same initiation power.
So what do you think of the Olaf here from Snoopeh yet again? Probably going to be in the jungle.
He did great in that first game. I mean, we didn't mention him very much, but he had great objective control as well as, you know, pressuring the lanes when he was able to spare time from farming. So I was very happy with Snoopeh's Olaf last game, and he did get to the point where he could dive into the determined team and stick on the AD carry. So I like that pickup once again.
So Determined actually going to get Vi and Thresh here as their next two picks. So had the opportunity to pick Thresh and didn't take it. He took Annie instead.
Yeah.
And the answer immediately from EG, we've got Ziggs and Lucian.
Yeah, I think the reason they picked Annie over the Thresh for EG was because it's much more of a guaranteed engage with Annie. Thresh, a little bit more chancy, easier to dodge those hooks, plus they take a little bit longer to come out. They want the instant engage plus AoE CC that Annie provides. It's much more of a Krepo style.
Yeah, so looking at the bottom lane here, speaking of Krepo, a lot of these bottom lanes on this patch are very action-packed. There's lots of aggression, lots of all-inning happening. Do you think there's one of these lanes is better than the other? Because Annie Lucian for a while, even now, is kind of considered just the best aggressive lane.
It's an extremely potent lane. Lucian already at this point, especially on 3.14, has the highest early trading power of an AD carry. So if he can get in the abilities into the double shot, then he's going to win that trade. And if you have a support like Annie, who's the best at setting up trades, as long as he can lock someone in place, they'll win that trade. The only thing is that he's going up against Sivir, which is the 180 carry who can actually block with Spell Shield and nullify that stun. So this will be a very interesting matchup. If it does end up 2 versus 2, it'll be down to the split seconds and can you Spell Shield extremely quickly.
Yeah, and Sivir Spell Shield still lasts quite a long time on this patch as well. So RobertxLee, as you mentioned,
for junglers. Yeah, I definitely know the feeling.
You've given me your spiel on that one. It's good times. Well, not for you, unfortunately. But actually, Mundo is the last pick here for EG. So InnoX, despite having that similar assassin style that we kind of noted Westrice for, he's actually going to go for the metagame this time.
So Renekton versus Mundo. I feel like Mundo in this patch is going to have the upper hand in that one. Renekton is a beast up in the top lane, and he does not lose very hard. He'll have the edge early, but you know, once it does get to the late game, Mundo's a bit more tanky than Renekton does get. So we'll have to see if Westrice can make some plays on that Renekton when he's got the upper hand in terms of damage.
Yeah, and I actually like the last few pickups there. We didn't quite go through them for the tournament, but they've got Vi and Orianna with their next few pickups to go through, and that is a wombo combo if there ever was one.
Love seeing those very well-placed shockwaves. And if you can actually get a shockwave and then a Vi ultimate, it works even better because you can group them up only to be split apart once again and really disorients the opponents.
Yep, you've got options to potentially AoE Vault Breaker as well, which is kind of cute if you shockwave them all together. But lots of, again, really curious champions here. EG taking a little bit of a step back, it feels like, going a little bit towards the metagame. They've got Olaf, they've got Mundo, still running that Zig as well. In fact, EG's team almost looks exclusively 3.14.
I mean, it's definitely, they're playing to the strengths of the patch. I like this. I think that Snoopeh is also going to go heavy into that defense tree because, like we said before, the Perseverance and the Second Wind works so well with his kit. When he gets very low, you want to try and finish him off, but it's very hard because he increases so much of that health regen and lifesteal.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. It looks like we're going to be getting into the game nice and shortly here, and it's going to be a fun one here, Kobe. Game 2 between Determined Gaming and the Evil Genius with the potentially unexpected result here. EG actually up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, they've taken the early lead, but like we said, this is a best of 5. So even if they win this game, there's still another one, at least one more on the way.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of League of Legends to be had today and this weekend as well, Kobe. So make sure you tune into all of that. But EG, now swapping sides, going to move out. And I think we are going to see a level 1 invade. Maybe not for kills, but certainly with Annie, a lot of teams like to use that AoE stun to try and invade early.
So he's got his stun charged up all the way, as noted by the half mana bar. And both supports, once again, have started with the Dorans. They've said, yo, great, you've introduced all these amazing gold per 5 items for supports. We're just going to go with back to Dorans.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, Krepo does like his Dorans, and Bubbadub seems to like it here as well. So lots of action, but RobertxLee, gets cleaved. Bouncing bomb going to move through. It's all flash starting there, and RobertxLee very much in trouble. There's the short fuse coming through, and Undertow's going to clean him out.
Okay, so Robert, at the point that he was caught by that Annie stun, I was thinking that he was just going to give himself up for dead and not flash, but he actually flashes and barrier, which is a huge loss. On this patch, getting the first blood doesn't actually mean as much as before. It's a lot less gold that you get for it, but burning 2 summoners means just as much as it ever did. That is going to be really hard for him in lane.
Yeah, and Krepo burnt both of his, but Yellowpete still has both his flash and his barrier available here. So Robert does give up the first blood there, and you mentioned it before, Krepo wants to make plays here, does so on Annie there for the first blood.
He has not wasted any time, and it's the same old Krepo. They were able to secure that first blood, and it went to Snoopeh, but because of that reduced gold value, even though he went back to base, he's got nothing to say for it.
Yeah, but when he does go back for that first shopping trip, the potential level 4 gank will look very, very scary once he moves in. But junglers are going to start their buffs now. Looks like Olaf's going to get his blue, and we're going to have Brokenshard actually start towards the red. So both of them going to be looking for the top lane.
Now the one thing here for Determined Gaming that, you know, even though Robert had to burn both summoners, Olaf as a jungler early on is not that scary coming in from ganks. He only has a slow, not a hard CC. So I think that as long as Determined play a bit safer and they just put under those wards in the river, then they should be okay and wait. They could just wait out the cooldowns on those summoners. Since they were burned actually so early into the game, it wasn't even close to minion spawning.
Yep, Snoopeh just going to hang out at the race, continue his farm. Brokenshard off towards the blue buff now as well, so should hit level 3 nice and early. And going to be able to look for the top lane if he wants to. And if you're going to keep Mundo down, you kind of have to do it early.
And wow, that stat for Snoopeh actually is surprising. I remember he did well in the last game, but he kind of snuck up there. Only died 1 time and got extremely, extremely tanky.
I'm kind of busy watching everyone else from EG look good. Focusing on Krepo, Snoopeh.
Yeah, he's off to a really good start here, though. And in the bottom lane, it's as expected. They're going to have the upper hand because Robert knows he does not have a barrier to fall back on. And like we said, the early trading potential of an Annie and Lucian lane is extremely high.
Yeah, looks like Brokenshard hanging out towards the top lane now. Gonna maybe look for a gank here, especially without the spell shield, as you mentioned, down the bottom lane. They're very hard for Sivir to really get any work done, and Vi's gonna back off.
Now, the thing is, this is the 3.14 patch. So the trinkets that you buy, since everyone has bought this yellow trinket, they show how many wards you've placed. And Brokenshard should have looked at InnoX's inventory, moused over his ward trinket right there, and seen that he's placed the ward. So he wasted a little bit of time right there. It's one of my favorite tricks that's now gone in the current live patch that you can't actually do anymore, but it just made gankings for junk.
Have the late game in terms of team fight. They had a really strong team if they could get there, but the story was EG just got ahead and were able to get it done. So we'll see if that happens again. And if Krepo can keep making plays, and he uses the flash button like it's a Q on cooldown or something. He loves to hit that button. But we'll see what happens here. We are going to get back into this game here. Hopefully everything's okay. Krepo's new computer, I'm sure, very shiny. But Yellowpete and Krepo hanging out down towards the bottom lane. Nothing massive here right now, but especially here in the lower levels, we're going to have to watch Determined Gaming's bottom lane.
Let's watch the upper levels, because Olaf's going in there for a gank.
Westrice there does get out there. Ooh, bit short on the undertow, unfortunately. Ooh,
got some slows.
Still hits him there. Westrice maybe forced to flash here. Looks like Ziggs in the mid, forced to get out as well there. As the satchel shot's going to get popped in. Krepo finds the stun. Actually, Yellowpete immediately going to dive in. And he's going to poke back and forth there. Great little trade, but oh, Yellowpete.
Good answer.
Death sentence in there as well. Flayback actually pops the barrier. Krepo round the back. He wants the kill. He's popping it everywhere he can go, but he can't quite get it. Yellowpete, though, does get away on us.
Both AD carries getting away with sub 50 HP right there. This is all about the supports lane. This is the supports making the plays, and both of them almost coming away with kills right there.
And it looks like Snoopeh once again going to come for Westrice. Didn't blow any summoners last time. Huge chunk of damage though he takes. And a big one there as well for Olaf.
Now, when you go and gank a Renekton, very good stun there by Krepo, by the way.
Very nice.
You can knock Vi out of her Vault Breaker when it's charged up. It will go on, only half the cooldown, but definitely worth it right there. Nice defensive play from Krepo. Anyway, when you go and you gank a Renekton, you want to not go from directly behind him because you allow that double slice and dice, which is a very easy escape, and he doesn't have to burn any summoners. You always want to go from the side when you're ganking a Renekton, or you want to expect the slice and dice and bait him out by walking back a little bit.
Yeah, and you mentioned Krepo before is really looking good in the last game and kind of dictating the pace here in this lane. Or Brokenshard, though, he's hanging out. Bubbadub looking for the death sentence, but I think they know what's up.
So you can do that as a jungler and just wait in the lane. Wow, they get the play.
Good play, actually. Yellowpete in a lot of trouble. That looks like it might be a kill, and RobertxLee gets the answer he wanted.
All right. Well, Bubbadub is coming up big right there. He throws out the hook, it doesn't land it, but he gets in range for the play, and that's enough. Now Westrice goes aggressive.
Yeah, InnoX could be in trouble. Ignite down onto Mundo as well. No ultimate available. He's going to try and run as fast as he can. The flash is up for Renekton, but decides pushing him out of lane is enough.
Yeah, so Westrice, he's trying to make something happen because he knows he does not want to let this Mundo get super tanky, but because he's trying to go so aggressive, Mundo actually doing fine in the CS. Not only is he even right now, but he's got a nice wave coming to him. So as long as he can CS that under his turret, he'll actually be pulling ahead in gold.
Yeah, and using that Ignite for Westrice going to make it even harder to kill that Mundo. And InnoX is on the way to level 6 as we see Pobelter hanging out in the mid, just chunking away, pushing as hard as he can on Ziggs. Actually has a sizable CS lead as a result.
Wow, Snoopeh doing a lot of early ganks here. He wants to make something happen bottom, but they're so close to the turret. Be very difficult.
Just walks down, throws an axe and says see you later. Going to probably help the push out here as well. Brokenshard actually off towards the top side of the map now as well. Maybe looking for a gank, but not quite level 6 yet, but could still sneak around Pobelter. We saw before, the one thing that got him is a beautiful satchel charge happens. Nice ult from Arthelon though, and Pobelter wants to throw the ultimate, but I think he knows he's in trouble. Vault Breaker moving through now as well. He's trying to run somewhere, does get knocked up, but he's okay.
Yeah. You're able to hit the Vault Breaker, but when you know your laner can't back you up anymore, Arthelon had been chunked down too early. You don't want to waste any time there taking on that solo laner by yourself. And he actually goes to rotate to his red buff instead of holding that mid lane because he doesn't want to allow Snoopeh the chance to counter it.
Oh, Westrice now proxying up towards the top lane as well, so going to keep these mending waves pushed in on InnoX as much as he can. The ultimate is now up for Dr. Mundo, so he's probably going to be fairly safe here as Snoopeh is going to donate the blue over to Ziggs. Thought for a second he was going to pick it up, but decides Spirit Stone's enough there.
It would be very nice to have on Snoopeh. I'm sure he'd enjoy that, but since Pobelter's doing so well already, adding a blue buff into that Ziggs-Orianna matchup is going to make it even more painful for Arthelon there. Orianna really having a tough time here because now Pobelter can just continually spam out all of his abilities to clear the wave and force Arthelon to try and CS under turret.
And I like this from EG. I think they are trying to steal away the enemy blue now as well, actually. You see Snoopeh and Pobelter rotating around, and Brokenshard's going to get a surprise he does not like. There's Snoopeh coming through there. The pink ward actually put down there. That's very aggressive from EG.
Yeah, I mean, Brokenshard's got his smite, but Arthelon's probably not going to get this blue buff. Oh, Pobelter steals.
He does. Very nice work there from Ziggs, picking it up down the bottom. Yellowpete in trouble as he ease out of the way. Now Bubbadub looking to go through. The damage in there from the Q as well. Great double stun there, and InnoX in a whole lot of trouble up towards the top lane. Now he pops his ultimate. Going to kite Westrice around, and he'll be okay. Throwing a trinket in his face like, yeah, have that.
That's that Ignite that you're talking about Westrice using earlier. Not back up now. So when Mundo pops his ultimate, nothing stopping him from regenning.
And you were talking before in the mid lane how blue's so good for Pobelter as Brokenshard. It's going to find Snoopeh level 6
they both
actually.
Missed both of their skill shots right there. A jungler fight, not much coming of that one.
No.
It's pretty futile.
But he's going to continue kind of walk back slowly towards the jungle here and see what happens. Yellowpete quite low here in the bottom lane, but look at the mid. Pobelter just pushing in time and time again. And without blue buff, this is really hard for Arthelon to hold off.
Yeah, Pobelter holding on to both those blue buffs. He got the refresh on the duration from stealing Arthelon's away, and he's feeling fantastic about the situation. Look at that CS difference. That is disgusting.
And this is the Pobelter we were hoping would show up, I guess, or at least if you're evil geniuses, you hope he plays his way. Looking really good here early on in Game 2 as well, and looks solid in the last game, but Brokenshard, he's having a sniff.
Looks like he wants to come in and check Pobelter. They do miss.
Beautiful satchel charge there from Ziggs. You can hear the crowd there. They're impressed, and so are we. That was a very nice
smirk
escape.
from Pobelter as well. He's happy about that one.
And he seems like a player where if he's really feeling himself, if he's feeling confident, it seems like he just plays even better.
So there's a double-edged sword there because Pobelter will also go for some crazy dives there. When he feels that he's ahead, he could be prone to overextending. We'll have to see if he actually gets carried away with himself or not.
Yep, so up towards the top now, InnoX just fighting Westrice away here, actually keeping pretty close in CS, about 10 the difference here. He's going to clean these out from under his tower. Tower not too damaged either, so Westrice trying to be aggressive early on here in this lane, hasn't really found a way to get on top of InnoX, and he's going aggressive here. He's got Tiamat once again here for his item build.
Yeah, Tiamat definitely great for Renekton for shoving that lane into the turret there, which is another way to try and keep Mundo down. And have him CS under the turret, but man, Westrice is getting to the point where it is going to be hard for him to keep that InnoX in check. And since InnoX is the one running teleport, it's actually bringing a lot more threat for his team because he can join them elsewhere on the map for objectives.
Yep, so it looks like Yellowpete hasn't quite gone shopping at all those, building a Trinity Force, which is, I guess, the other build we do see from Lucian. We see Bloodthirster a lot of the time, but looks like with the Ruby Crystal plus the Longsword, he's going to go Phage into an eventual T-Force.
Yeah, you can go with the Trinity Force build early. Wow, Robert pops the ultimate. Okay.
Feeling keen? Doesn't quite go though, and looks like Krepo and Yellowpete just gonna back away.
He got me to sit up straight real quick. That's about
He knew you were watching. He's like, Kobe's not sitting up straight. I'm gonna make him pay attention. Here is Arthelon gonna get the blue wraith for himself. Always nice for the mid lane to get the wraith, but Arthelon, he really needs to play catch up on CS. He's miles behind.
Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult for him to get back into it. Because, like we said, Ziggs is the shoving champion. He's just going to continually do that. Not much is going to change here.
InnoX could actually be in trouble here as Westrice uses every trick in the book. There's the masochism pop from Mundo. He's like, uh-oh, needs some of my health back. Gonna last it under the tower. I mean, as long as, if Westrice can't actually kill him with the all-in, but he does have his Ignite back, InnoX is totally happy with what's happening.
And InnoX, he actually also has the option, since they're up top, to go farm double golems. If he gets to the point where he feels like Westrice has kill potential on him, then he can always retreat into the jungle and come back to farm a turret.
Yep, so it looks like Determined just kind of sniffing around the mid once again. Brokenshard really wants to kill Pobelter, but there's a nice ward being placed down there, and Pobelter, he's really feeling himself in the mid lane.
Yeah, good ward by him, but here we go, the stun does land.
Oh, bear down as well. RobertxLee needs to be careful. Didn't click the lantern, the ward play.
So that's a very cheeky little play that we've seen quite a lot, is dropping not only wards, but pretty much anything you can on top of the lantern to block it so that your opponent cannot click on it. The Tippers was there as well, just for good effect. And they're able to take down Robert and looking for the objective after.
Yep, Evil Genius is going to pick up a dragon a little later than they picked it up in game one, but again, just looking so cohesive here as this team Determined. They're sniffing around him, maybe trying to find the steal.
Wow, they're being very cautious about this one, taking out all of the wards.
Yeah, they've got to be careful though. I saw the teleport started by InnoX, but
wow, they're still waiting.
Go. Oh, good ult there as well for Orianna. The dragon does go down though, and Krepo could be in a little bit of trouble, had the stun, didn't want to throw it over the wall, and a bit of a weird one, but the first dragon.
All right, so it was actually really good that they waited that long because Snoopeh did smite early, and he did not get the dragon with his smite. So it looks like it was a good call there.
But props to EG. Yellowpete did manage to pick up the slack there for Snoopeh, and he did get the first dragon. So again, a nice early 2,000 gold lead.
Pobelter now grabbing another blue as well. So the pain continues for Arthelon at mid.
If he gets denied another blue here, and again, they were up at very similar times, so it should be back up now at this point as well. He doesn't have his... Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Snoopeh is actually in place to counter this one because he got so low tanking that dragon for years.
Yellowpete now 1v2 down the bottom, but just using his smooth moves there. Lucian, something we didn't mention, but when you have a dash like this as an AD carry, you're even better against a champion like Thresh as well, which is kind of a nice little extra.
Yeah, he dodges both skill shots right there. It's nice jukes from Yellowpete.
Yep, and now Arthelon gets a little low, has a bit of trouble, but is able to solve the blue buff for himself, and he'll be very, very happy to have that picked up. Again, the CS lead, really massive between those two. It's closing on 40. As we have
so let's
the dragon up. Uh-oh.
Let's take a look. The EU jungler import that they've gotten. Red buff is very difficult. There's the Brokenshard smite, and looks like Lizard wins out in this fight.
You win this time, Lizard.
Tricky, tricky Lizard.
Very tricky. Paul Brokenshard there. Couldn't quite catch that one, but everyone else did. And that was unfortunate, to say the least.
Yeah, that's...
No red buff this time. As Pobelter in the mid on Ziggs, blue buff still going. He's going to be pushing as hard as he can. Tower very low for Evil Geniuses in the bottom lane there. They're going to have to watch out.
All right. So we're we're going to have to watch that Robert running from the fountain. It looks like they have a good pink ward as well in this bottom bush. So they won't have the surprise attacks from Krepo. Well, never mind. They just cleared out the pink ward because they sniffed that one out. One of the drawbacks of getting that side lane or side bush control is that pink ward's now being visible. You can just walk in there and auto attack them. Pobelter is not letting Determined have anything, even their own Wraith.
No, and that's a very bold use of your ultimate if you're Pobelter, to use it to steal away the Wraith camp, but just annoy and damage the jungler a little bit.
So it was actually a really good move by Pobelter. He damaged Brokenshard with that ulti too. So if Brokenshard died to another jungle camp, which he apparently he might do again, then it was a really sneaky play there because he'll get kill credit.
So one thing I do want to ask you about, Kobe, is trinkets is something we've really seen come out in 3.14 and that you've mentioned. EG did this last game, but they have a very fast triple red trinket.
That's a pretty quick triple red trinket, you're right. Already looking for those sweeping lenses. And you do need to upgrade those as well before they become extremely useful. So it's a pretty good little investment that you're going to have to make because you're not able to use it again for a nice cooldown. So what you want to do is place your ward, then go back to base, then sell it and buy the new trinket.
So Pobelter, as you can see, looking good in the mid, still streets ahead in terms of CS and looking to take out the first turret of the game, actually, potentially 1v1. That short fuse passive there from Ziggs, looking really good in terms of getting that tower down. I mean, Arthelon going to defend with the blue buff as best he can as Mundo sniffing for something here. They are going to go in towards the back. InnoX there as RobertxLee pops the ultimate, and that's really smart play from both teams.
Yeah, teleport burned, but nothing gained there. And it is going to give Westrice alone time up there top. It looks like they're making the rotation already, so Snoopeh will probably be able to clean up most of these minions. We'll have to see if Westrice can actually cut him off before he gets there.
And that's the first teleport we've seen from InnoX that wasn't massively high impact, unfortunately. He's looked really good with those ports for the most part, but couldn't quite make it happen there as Snoopeh actually here on top of Westrice. The tower does go down as Renekton gets enough time to take it out in the top lane, and Determined Gaming catching up nicely at 2 towers to none.
It was a very good answer there. Westrice was able to make InnoX pay for that teleport. Not only was it unsuccessful in grabbing a kill, but now the top turret being down does allow Westrice a lot more room to work with up top.
Yeah, so it looks like Snoopeh just clearing them out in the mid here. Westrice wants to stick around as much as he can, just annoy Snoopeh. Good damage actually coming out there. He's just trying to split push as best he can, and InnoX desperately needs to get back up towards the top lane because Snoopeh can't quite contend with all that power.
Yeah, talk about wave clear. Ziggs down in the mid lane is doing a great job, but a Renekton that's ahead and has the Tiamat does a great job as well.
You can see how quickly it turns around here. Westrice does not like InnoX one bit. The cleaver actually going to hit here. Snoopeh going to looking for the chain slows here. There's one more Q. It's going to be Q train here. And Westrice, he's kind of in trouble. He does have his splash. Used it there as Brokenshard's going to come in. Pobelter misses the ultimate of it. Moves Arthelon out of the way with a satchel charge. Assault battery though on top of Pobelter as he's low. But Westrice goes down to Ziggs. Now Krepo joining the fray as well. The lantern up there. But Brokenshard moves up the wrong way and they're standing on top of it. Denying it once again. 3 clean kills for EG.
Oh, the evacuation mission has gone wrong for Determined Gaming there. Everyone trying to get Westrice out of the bad spot, but they just end up dying themselves and giving up their turret.
Oh, Bubbadub pop back in there as well. That's beautiful play. And that's going to be yet another kill there. 4 in a row, plus a tower for EG.
Pobelter with the satchel charge to grab Bubbadub for that one. And now we've got the Annie, Tibbers, tanking up the turret. They're going to go for 2.
EG are going to get 3 here, it looks like, Kobe. They weren't happy that they were down 2 over turrets.
Robert gets bursted down 2, but they're not close enough to capitalize.
Yellowpete, though, does clean out that turret in the bottom as well. Cleavers almost cleaned up poor RobertxLee. He did have his summoners, so hopefully would have been able to live there. But all of a sudden, EG, one great little fight around Baron there. They clean up the map, though.
Yeah, apparently when it rains and pours here, they've just got a huge chunk of gold. A giant lead that they've been able to grab. And now it's up to Determined. They can try and answer with this dragon objective and grab a little bit of that back while EG are shopping.
Yep, so Dragon is going to go to Determine, it looks like here, although they're rotating down. Pobelter will have his ultimate. I wonder if he wants to just throw a blind and see what happens. No, there it goes. There. InnoX actually going to get grabbed up here. Mundo could be in a little bit of trouble. Pops his ult. There's 4 people chasing him now. There's a satchel charge moving them out of the way. And Pobelter once again really on point with those charges. Yeah,
InnoX did get caught and he had to blow his ultimate, but they also got Sivir's ult down. So that's really big for them.
Yeah, looks like InnoX is going to clear out the mid now as well. Which should be equal on Dragons now as Determined Gaming picks up the last one, but Evil Geniuses once again looking aggressive here as Yellowpete's hanging out with Krepo. Oh, we're going to try and steal it. Brokenshard could be in trouble there as the damage moves in. Did get the rebel through. Krepo actually gets himself grabbed up. The Culling popped in there as well. Bubbadub taking a big chunk of damage to Tibbers. Looking through, but a great spotlight there comes out. Now Yellowpete's in a ton of trouble there as the rest of Determined are coming through. Snoopeh going to go down as well. And a 3-1 answer there for Determined.
Yeah, bit off a little bit too much there. EG, they wanted to contest that red just to see if they could steal it. But since Krepo got hooked right there at the end by Bubbadub, they had to commit actually to a 4-on-5 fight. And they could not make that one count.
InnoX up towards the top lane though will clean out the turret, it seems like, so that's at least some good news there for EG, but they do have to be careful. They were in this spot last time, Kirby, a few thousand gold up, started snowballing here, Determined, they brought it back a little. If you're EG, what's your game plan to win this time? Because the last time it was InnoX split push.
Yeah, I mean, they can split push again with InnoX, but Mundo not, quite as effective as that Riven was last time. And like we said, we usually want him in a team fight early if there's going to be a team fight. So he would want to use that teleport extremely early on and have to coordinate very well with Krepo, because Krepo has got an itchy trigger finger. He's been initiating just in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and he's a Haunting guys actually as part of his item build. He is going to go for the Talisman this time, it seems like. Has that Ancient Coin ready to go and be upgraded eventually. But, I mean, Krepo, we've seen how aggressive he is already on Leona. Going to try and continue to make plays here as Pobelter with the blue buff almost on his way to Rabadon. So a big power spike coming up in there as well.
Yeah, it looks like both mid laners going with the similar builds that we've been seeing.
What we expect.
Pretty much all day today, yeah. Pobelter, though, it seems like he's always got blue buff on, and he's had no trouble shoving that lane in. Huge CS numbers.
It'd be interesting to see like how many minutes of this game, what percentage did Pobelter get blue, because it's probably going to be quite a bit. But it looks like EG, again, trying to control the vision here. Pink wards all over the shop. Lens is ready to go and sweep as well. And they've defended their mid-turret.
Interesting, a duel down here with InnoX and Westrice. Westrice looks like he has the upper hand right now, but he has to be careful about chasing a champion like Mundo.
Yeah, the Masochism does get popped on. InnoX fancies himself once again. Westrice lost the last 1v1, so we'll see if he can get it done. Who's better, Mundo or Renekton? And Renekton, I'm very sorry, my friend. You do not have a doctrine, but Brokenshard's actually coming in. The knock up there for Voltbreaker going to make it happen. Does he have the damage? InnoX has to turn off the Burning Agony. There's the dunk down on top of him with Assault and Battery. And Westrice just dodging the Ziggs ultimate. He'll get out.
All right, so once again, Westrice losing out the duel, but he's got buddies. It's a team game. You got team in the area, and Brokenshard's able to come in, pick up InnoX. I don't know if it was part of the bait where Westrice ignited InnoX before he popped his ultimate or not, but either way, it really worked out.
It did. So Brokenshard, right place, right time there for that one. As Yellowpete up towards the top, going to clear out wards here. EG look like they want to do an early Baron almost.
It's extremely hard to do an early Baron now because it's so difficult to get vision control now that you have to have those early swooping lenses and only one pink ward per champion. But EG are doing it. They've already secured vision over that entire area of the map, and Determined have to be very careful.
You know what the best part about that part of the map, Kobe?
Yes.
The blue buff. They're really trying to keep it away from Arthelon as best they can here. There is a pink ward there, though, and Determined Gaming sniffing around. Krepo going to find out there's a pink ward there. We're going to have a bit of a ward battle, but Bubbadub will win for now. Oop, never mind, they clean it out.
Thought you could win that ward because, or that war. Here's the initiate.
Good stun there on the Bubbadub. The damage moving through as RobertxLee's trying to pop his ult to get him out, but the culling does come through before the Ziggs ult, and that's going to give Yellowpete that kill. So really nice plays there from EG.
All right, so usually the pink ward wins the ward wars because it takes 5 hits to kill, even though you can see both wards, but the double shot there from Lucian really turning that one around.
Did manage to clear them all out, but EG once again have a stranglehold over that left side of the map here. Westrice pushing in now as well. InnoX does have his teleport. He's down the bottom, but over the top there onto Arthelon though, and Yellowpete's going to clean up yet another kill. EG almost turning into Fnatic, it seems like. They're camping everything.
And Krepo, once again, playing the exact same role as last time. You ban out the Leona, it just goes with Annie. It's not quite as long range, but he's got the flash. using that one extremely effectively, and he's able to pull out another very important kill. And because they cleaned out so much of this Baron vision, there's no vision of the health for Determined, but they do know they're there.
Oh, Krepo could be in trouble. Westrice going on top of Annie. Grab that does come out as Death Sentence will land, and Bubbadub picks it up, but InnoX looking for the teleport here as Westrice wants to go in, and he's forced to flash over the top. There's too many members of Evil Geniuses there, and Pobelter doesn't quite have his ultimate, so he can't quite go sniping, unfortunately.
See, that's the problem right there. They cleared out so many bushes, but they had to use all their sweeping lenses in the process, and Determined had snuck one more ward into this little side bush, which just saw them walking over to the Baron area. That's all you need to go contest it.
So, pretty brave Baron attempt there from EG, but I like that they're being aggressive. They're really using their new roster here, using these new solo lane players, and they're playing very, very aggressive. I mean, we saw in game one, they really had to close the game out in the mid game, and it feels like they're kind of at the same, have the same thing here, but they don't have the same advantage they did at this point in the last game. Oh, Smite War does actually get one. There looks like someone picked up the blue. With Snoopeh, actually.
Snoopeh won that Snipe War a little bit early there from Brokenshard.
Managed to get it done. InnoX actually in the thick of it. Krepo round the side. A good double stun there. Ultimate on top there for Ziggs as well. And he's trying to get out, but there's damage moving in. Orianna doing nice work there, and Snoopeh is going to run from this one. InnoX completely in and amongst it though on top of Arthelon. He gets the double kill. Now RobertxLee as well. Just a Mundo up in his drill. That's not where he wants him at all. The triple moving through there, and Olaf sneaks in for the last kill and the ace for EG.
EG get a clean ace right there. This is a nice start. They were a little bit focused on that blue buff steal. Arthelon gets chunked pretty low. There goes the ulti from Krepo, locking two people in place. Biden gets ball breaker, anyone, and here goes InnoX. This is the Mundo running over both damage dealers. He's chased off all of the threat from this Determined team, leaving Westrice to take on 4 members of EG.
They did get the Dragon now onto Baron EG, and I said, Kobe, they didn't quite have the lead they had before. Looks like they've got it back here as Bubbadub going to try and be a hero. Brokenshard wants to do it again, but can't do it this time as Snoopeh is going to pick it up, and he is absolutely dead to rights there. Bubbadub's like, Lantern, buddy, not this time, sorry.
There's no coming back from that one. It was a valiant effort, though, and it did work last game, so can't blame him for trying right there. It's a really big hole now for Determined, though. Much bigger than game one.
Yeah, we had, what, a few thousand gold, maybe 4 in the last few minutes. All of a sudden, it's about 9k here between these two. EG really climbing towards the dreaded 10k gold lead here, and the item difference pretty phenomenal between these two teams.
And what they can do since Ziggs is so fed, we've got Pobelter with basically the highest damage early build that you can have, the Death Cap plus the Void Staff there. They can just go siege up at turrets, and he can harass while they're taking down the turret. So if they wait there for any amount of time, then he's going to be landing all this AoE magic damage on the entire Determined team. And if they don't make something happen very quickly, they're all just going to slowly be whittled down.
And Baron buff, great for a siege here as well. You can see RobertxLee down towards the bottom trying to get the split push done, but InnoX will rotate around to clear these out. Doesn't have his teleport up right now, so he's going to have to be a little careful with rotating with his team. But EG once again in control of this second game here, and just looking to close it out. And Determined Gaming kind of had to hold on for the late game in game one. Couldn't quite get it done. Kobe, if Determined are going to do anything here, what do you think they can do to try and bring this back?
They need to catch somebody out with that Vault Breaker or the Assault and Battery from Brokenshard. You got to speed him up with the Sivir ulti and catch somebody unawares, because in the 5-on-5 team fights we've already seen that InnoX is going to run over the damage dealers, and the rest of EG are going to have the CC to be able to lock up Determined Gaming, so they really don't want a 5-on-5 fight.
Big amount of vision control coming out there for EG as well. The tower does go down there in the bottom lane as Pobelter's going to pick that up. 5-3 now in turrets here as EG officially get themselves over the 10k gold threshold in terms of lead. Snoopeh going to get himself grabbed up, but he's not too worried. Krepo going to take a tap in there as well from Orianna. But we talked about it, Kobe, the Baron's on here. The siege really is on now.
They've got Baron, but at least for Determined's sake, there's no blue buff on Pobelter, so he's missing a little bit extra cooldown reduction, and he will slowly start draining that mana. But like we said, the passive as well, hurting for those turrets, and they're getting the small poke that they need from both him and Yellowpete.
I mean, the biggest difference in this one is that they've got a super tank now as well in Mundo, so they can do exactly what they're doing now. Walk up, face tank, do a couple of hits there with the passive from Lucian and Ziggs, and they're slowly going to get this tower down. In fact, not even that slowly.
Yeah, pretty quickly, actually. They've also got Snoopeh here, who is again on Olaf, slowly crept up to a very formidable unstoppable force who can dive right behind InnoX.
And it's just poke coming left, right, and center here. Determined Gaming really digging to defend this inhibitor turret, but if it goes down, a big fight is likely to break out here. I mean, they've still got their abilities. They've got great AoE and CC. So if they can find them in the right spot, if EG overextend, then maybe we can get it done, but they're going to go in.
All right, so they grab the tower pretty easily, and that means there probably won't be a fight around the inhibitor. If you're not going to fight over the turret, then you're not going to fight over the inhibitor because there's no more extra damage.
Yeah, so Determined do the smart thing there and back off there, but Evil Geniuses get the bottom turret now. Should make the next Baron a little bit easier. I believe that should be up within the range of 4 minutes there before that inhibitor is able to come back up. And again, Evil Geniuses a big lead. They just have to find a way to close out this game.
Yeah, the thing is, they don't even have to wait for another Baron. If they can grab the blue buff for Pobelter, they can do pretty much the exact same thing that they just did down bottom. Just rotate to another lane and siege up.
And they'll be looking to do just that here in this one as Krepo stun at the ready. As always here, Snoopeh even going to do a bit of counter jungling in there as well. You can see the items really coming up big for EG now as well. Trinity Force Bloodthirster with a likely left this. Oops, Snoopeh going to get himself grabbed up. Actually blows the ultimate there, interestingly enough. Does not want to get caught.
Yeah, blowing that ultimate early not going to hurt them too bad because they're all buying right now and they're not going to siege up for a good amount of time. So he'll have the cooldown running on that one. And I guess better safe than sorry.
Yeah, he's got quite a lot of CDR as well with his item build, so he's not too worried what's happening. And again, the item's really coming out. I mean, look at this Mundo, Kobe. He is huge.
We talked about Mundo not really getting to that super tank point last game. InnoX is definitely there.
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to be able to run through the entire team.
And he did that in the last fight. He just ran through everybody, found RobertxLee, found all the squishies, and it was problems for Determined, to say the least. So really holding on. I mean, Kobe, as we look through this game, EG with such a big lead, Dragon coming back up as well that they could look to pick up, and we've seen how good their objective control is. How did this happen to Determined once again?
I mean, this time it was really, it wasn't the InnoX teleports changing the game. It more stemmed from that Pobelter domination mid allowed them to gain a lot of ground in the jungle as well. And then they were easily able to control all of the objectives as soon as they got their kills.
Yeah, InnoX are going to get death sentence up, but he's okay. I mean, he's Mundo. He's not particularly worried about anything that Determined can throw at him right now. Last Whisper is finished for RobertxLee, but EG going to start the siege once again.
And even though they have teleport up on InnoX, it's better to have him with the team for the initial fight rather than have him splitting, because he can't split very far. The only open lane would be mid lane, and that is a very short distance to teleport. Almost takes as long to teleport as it does to walk over.
Yeah, and EG going to get themselves another turret there as well. Really sticking together here. Just sieging down Determined. You see RobertxLee forced to move out there. That could mean EG could look to dive here, and they do have the champion to do so in Dr. Mundo. He's Robert. I mean, he's got 3 items on Sivir, but he's struggling to clear out the super minions.
Yeah, he's struggling. Meanwhile, Pobelter is just going full damage here. On top of his already Death Cap and Void Staff, he's added another needlessly large rod.
You can see the short fuse there, the passive coming in, just the damage coming through. That's the Sivir pop there. Brokenshard takes a big long ride there. Great ultimate there from Orianna, but InnoX and Krepo around the back on top of RobertxLee as Pobelter picks up a kill on the Vi. There's Snoopeh taking out Renekton as well as Westrice is going to fall, and now Bubbadub just gets rampaged through as Orianna and RobertxLee bleeding back towards their base.
You can't blame them for trying there. That's the combo they were wanting to go for. The shockwave after the... Oh, Arthelon, though.
He did pick up the kill on the Ziggs, but I think he's going to pay for it with his life. And EG just rampaging through the base of Determined now. RobertxLee is going to try and cut where he can. InnoX still on top of him as Snoopeh. Not particularly worried, actually dies there. So gives himself the double kill. But Determined, they got a couple of trade kills back there, lost a lot of their base still. 2 inhibs down now.
All right, Robert is able to chase them out of the base for now. 2 inhibitors down, though, is gigantic. Here goes the beautiful combo. They pulled this one off extremely well. Even though Pobelter got his satchel jump off, it was a good shockwave combo, and Westrice went in with him, but they're so far behind that they can just get melted very easily as the EG team collapses with all their damage dealers, melts through the tanks, then moves on to the damage.
Yeah, and it's a great looking combo, but that's what Determined Gaming wanted to do 10 minutes ago, at least, maybe even 15 minutes ago, around one of the earlier Dragon fights. I mean, this is desperation Baron Kobe that they're looking for now.
Yeah, it seems like the early game here for Determined has been the story both times. It looks like we only have Krepo here in the area to contest this Baron, We'll have to see if he can actually come up with another hero play.
This would be
they're putting it down.
This would be quite the steal. Pobelter's in range as well. The ultimate's coming in. He does steal
Oh
it. He grabs the Baron. And Krepo wants to back up, but he's baiting everybody else in. Brokenshard dead as Krepo goes down in there as well. But Yellowpete chasing him through there as he gets the kill. And InnoX this entire time, he teleported before that Baron started. He's just taking out the base.
So Pobelter's ultimate does 1,059 damage right now. Able to steal that one away. Yes, Smite does get up to that point, but he's not level 18 yet, so there's no chance for him to steal it.
Now the face taking happening is actually Arthelon picks up the kill down the bottom lane. InnoX finally failed, but he does get the inhibitor. EG gonna make it triple inhibs now as well, and Baron buff going back and forth as well, determined in a big hole here in this game. And we saw a great steal from Brokenshard in game 1. That was a steal from Pobelter.
Very nice set here for Baron steals. Pobelter was already making a good case for MVP of this game, but I think that might have just got it for him.
Maybe, just maybe here. So he's gonna, I thought he was soloing Dragon for a second. He could almost do it, as Yellowpete's gonna get it instead.
Let's just take a look at that fireball coming in. Oh, he timed it very well with Krepo. That was actually perfectly timed. Right on top of each other. So even more than that 1,000 damage Ziggs ult was also the ult here from Krepo.
Yeah, Tibbers does a reasonable amount of damage, Kobe, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, he's only got that 400, but that's pretty good too. 14, there's no way you're outsmiting 1,400 damage.
And I love this from Krepo as well. Needlessly large rod, now in the inventory. Has home guard boots, actually. I was hoping he would go the distortion boots and give me the Makako Tabe special. Not this time, unfortunately.
More plays, please. More plays.
He loves to flash.
Yeah, he does.
As Westrice down the bottom, doing what he can to clear out these minion waves. But EG, it's probably going to be one more push here in this game. And they'll be at a point that I don't think anybody thought they would be at. Certainly, when I was looking at this match, I didn't know what to expect.
Their backs are really going to be up against the wall after this one. Because, I mean, at this point, Determined are trying to defend the Alamo here. They've got no inhibitors up. They've only got those 2 Nexus turrets and this entire super fed EG team outside. So they really have to be thinking about the changes for next game. And what are they going to ban? Because the Ziggs has been a problem, a real problem here, but so has Krepo.
I mean, I think certainly forced Pobelter to play something else.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen your Ziggs. It's really good. I don't want to play against it anymore. I wonder what else they've got going for here. But EG moving in for the kill here in this one. Bubbadub's going to try and make a hook play happen. Westrice going to charge in there as well. He's on top of everybody there. The ultimate though comes in. Good combo, but it's not quite enough damage. And Tib is on top in there as well as Bubbadub is also going to get felled. 3 kills already to 1 as Krepo, the only member of EG to fall. And they're going to make it 2-0, Kobe.
All right, EG come out so strong. And Krepo still keeping calm. They know. Best of 5. Got one more to do.
Yep, I mean, we've seen this before. Last weekend, SK ran it back from this spot down, but Determined Gaming, if they were ever wondering just how hard is it to get into the LCS, this is it. And this is the team nobody wanted to play against.
If anybody knows how hard it is to get into the LCS, it's that man right there, Westrice. He's been fighting years and years over to stay in the professional scene. And man, I just feel bad for him. He's down 2-0 in the best of 5.